Hello and welcome to DPN TV here at the DPN Rover car collection, and we're in our Rover 75 1.8 Connoisseur SE 2001. It's our maroon one, the copper leaf one, and it's a problem we've known about for quite a while, but it's not kind of been priority. And basically what it is, it's the rain sensor, and what that allows you to have is when you put it on what you'd normally consider the pulse wipe position on the wipers, it looks for how much rain there is and brings the wipers on and speeds them up or slows them right down to a complete stop, which is quite useful actually, and it works very well on our Silver 75. And that's how I first realised it wasn't working on this, because when you're driving in our Silver 75 and you sort of got the sort of rain where you'd normally put your pulse wipe on, you put them on, and the wipers do speed up as the rain gets heavier, and then as the rain slows down, the wipers slow down. They will even come to a complete stop, and then as you drive back into rain they start again. Now on this car, I noticed in the same conditions the pulse wipe seemed to be working like a standard pulse wipe. So that's when I first realised. So when you've got your stalk here and you put it into the first position, which is pulse wipe, second position is the slow wipe, and third position is the fast wipe. So we come all the way back down to there off and then put it back into that position. That's your pulse wipe setting. As I say, on this car they were working like standard pulse wipe. Now what's nice about this is that you have got a little turn dial here, so you can speed up or slow the pulse wipe down. Now as I understand, as the car speeds up and slows down, those pulses will kind of vary within your own settings. Now as far as I can tell, that is working. It is just the rain sensor that isn't. So I assume when the rain sensor fails, the car defaults back to a standard pulse wipe, like a car that hasn't got that rain sensor. Now interestingly enough, when we plug the P scan into this, and I think I mentioned it on that video where we were first looking at the P scan, it does list in this car as a rain sensor fault. So that kind of confirms that that is hopefully the problem. We're going to find out and see, and that may take some drives in this car as well to confirm we've cured the problem. But I am going to do a test at the end of this while the car's stationary and see if that does kind of work and bring the rain sensor on. We'll just have to see about that. So the rain sensor itself sits behind the interior mirror, which is up there. I've got a cover over the window screen so that the light isn't too bright, and hopefully we'll be able to see it. So there's like a case in there around the interior mirror, and if you didn't have a rain sensor, then the interior mirror would just have the normal teeny little pad that sticks up there. If you've got the rain sensor, you've got this big plastic cowling. And what I'll do, I'll just take you outside and show you the rain sensor from the outside, because it's quite obvious you've got one, and how it looks as well. So we'll do that now. Now we're outside, you can see the interior mirror is behind this piece of dark coloured plastic in the window screen, and here is what the rain sensor looks like from the outside. You can't actually see the rain sensor because I think there is something tinted in there to hide that, and I think that is possibly a sensor for light for the interior mirror, so it knows when to tint itself down with night driving. But that's the rain sensor and how it looks from the outside. Right, so now we are back inside. I thought we'd have a little look at the rain sensor that we've bought. Here is the rain sensor that sits under that cowling. It's a fair size. Here is all the information on it, and hopefully this is the right part because it was listed as the right part. It is obviously originally a BMW part, and surprised enough in the 75s there aren't actually that many actual BMW parts. I think some of it were influenced, but actually BMW parts, you don't come across many, but this obviously is one, and it appears to have been well used in other vehicles at the time. I think there's some Range Rovers that appear to use it and some BMW, so hopefully there shouldn't be an immediate shortage of them. We bought this one from eBay at the time of making this video, and it is brand new. It's I assume new old stock, I would have thought, but it is listed as new. I assumed actually we'd have to buy a second-hand one, but when I looked, some of the second-hand ones were actually nearly as dear as this one. I think we paid it was definitely over £18, around £18 to £20 from what I remember, which seems a little bit dear, but being the second-hand ones were similar prices or not much cheaper, and we know this is a new part, we considered that worth getting. They do appear to have put their own little mark on it, so that I assume you don't send back your old one and claim it was faulty. So yeah, it's as I say, new old stock as far as we know. So hopefully it should cure the problem. But yeah, as I said, a fair size. I did imagine a slightly smaller sensor till I started looking it up. But yeah, this was listed as definitely for a 75, and it was actually bought from an eBay seller that specialises in new and second-hand parts, and we have bought from them before and had no problems. And when they've said it's new, it's been new, and when it's been second-hand or used from a Rover, it has been. So we considered we bought it from a trusted source. We've probably bought from for a fair few years actually on eBay. So let's start fixing. Right, so if we come back up to the interior mirror, hopefully you can see that there's a join down this back piece of plastic, and what we've got is a little trim tool, and all I'm going to do is lever it just up here at the top and pull it apart. I've already started to tease it, so I'll probably go over a little bit more of a click with you lot to make sure that it was going to come down okay, and hopefully we can then remove off the other side of this piece of plastic. There we go, just by moving the interior mirror about a little bit. And I don't know if this interior mirror can come off, but if we don't need to remove it, then I'm going to assume that there is no real need to remove it, hopefully. I'll just aim the camera up. Hopefully now you can see there's the little rain sensor sitting there behind the interior mirror there, and we'll start removing it. Right, so now it's time to remove our little sensor from the window screen. Now, as I understand, I won't show you both sides, hopefully we'll get it to focus in a minute. There is this little piece of plastic that runs along the top here of the sensor, and what we'll do is slowly leave that out, and what I'll do is show you it. Hopefully it'll look a little bit better and clearer when we look at it on the seat. It seems to be a job to get our thumb to focus in on that sensor at the moment because of the way the light is. So we'll give it a go and see what you can see. So yeah, it's just a case of prising this out here. And now that's out, and we'll do the other side as well. And what I'll do now is I'll bring the camera around, let it focus in, and you'll see there it's now sort of come outwards, that little piece of plastic. I've just slid it out with a screwdriver. I'll do the other side and then it should drop down. Yeah, so I just thought I'd show you, as it wasn't quite easy or as easy to show you that sensor when it was sort of coming away with those little clips out. You can see here and here are those little clips that I just gently levered out with the screwdriver to bring those tabs out on both sides. As you can see, that allowed the sensor to pull away from the window screen, and then when we refit it, hopefully you'll be able to see me doing that once it's pushed up back onto that piece that's left on the window screen. What you'll then do is push those two clips back in like that, so hopefully you can see they're back in, and that will hold it back on the window screen. So I thought it was just worth showing you that in a little bit more detail before we put it back. So hopefully you've seen that sensor come away, and what I've done, I've brought it here in front of the interior mirror, and you can see there's a little plug in there at the top with 4 wires. So what we do is we're just unplug that now. So that's it unplugged, and there you can see that that's the plug there, and that's it hanging there. And we'll remember that it goes back round that side of the mirror. So what we'd do next is just match up and check these codes do match. So yeah, I've had a little look, and hopefully you can see that those codes, they do kind of they do match. There we go, we're in focus now, so it's always worth checking that. And of course the plugs are the same as well before you try and fit it. Right, so there's a couple of interesting things I've found out. One is that part of that sensor gets left behind on the window screen. Hopefully you can see it there. That's why you can't see the bit of sensor we're seeing, because there's a bit left behind on the window screen that doesn't come with that sensor. And the other thing is the sensor we've removed, if we bring it in there, it's got a little white dot on it, which could possibly mean that's not the original sensor, and that's been marked because it's been changed before. So well, we'll have to hope that this perhaps cures the problem, but until we do it, we're not really going to know. The other thing is that little round dot you can see, the sensor for that is actually built into this, which is quite interesting as well. So yeah, I think, there you go, you can see that little red dot there, and that is that sensor you can see separate from the main square sensor like we looked at on the outside. So that's cleared that up as well. So now it's time to fit the new one back. Right, what I thought I'd also do, because the mirror was a little bit difficult or in the way of that sensor when I was getting it out, I did see that some mirrors when I looked online are like on a bayonet fitting. So I'm going to hopefully try this, and nothing doesn't go wrong yet, and it comes off. So you've got a little bit more room now to get to the sensor. Hopefully that wire should be all right to dangle there, as long as we don't knock it. So what I'll do is bring you up. So hopefully if we focus in there, yeah, you can see there's like the little metal bit there that is almost like a bayonet fitting. You put it on at the angle and it twists back level, and I don't know, we'll be able to get a little bit better view of that bit of the sensor that's left behind, maybe just a little bit there. Yeah, I think you can see that just about where it clips on to that. So let's start fitting the new one back. Right, so remembering that the wire goes round this side of the mirror, the far side from where we're filming, and the wire can only go in one way with the little slot there on the side, so we get that in. And hopefully now this should just gently slide over this part of the sensor. What we need to do first of all actually is just pull out those little clips. I'll get my screwdriver so we can just do that. And then hopefully it will just slot on nice and gently, and then I will push these little clips back in, and that should lock it basically into place. and I think it's certainly going to make things easier with the interior mirror hanging down. Right, so the wire's going that side of the mirror, and we can always move it over if not. There we go. So it does actually clip on, and is kind of holding there on its own, even without these little bits of plastic pushed in. What we do is push them in now. So it's definitely locked in, and you do feel it centre itself when you lock them. So this is actually very well fixed onto this window screen, which I think is quite important in the way that it works. So what we do now is we'll get the interior mirror back on. Alright, so we want to have it at a twisted angle, and hopefully you should be able to feel locked in and twisted round. So that's now back nicely in position, and we'll put this little bit of wire back into its slot. That's nice and positioned nicely. That wire just come in there, and they should be hidden by the two bits of plastic. So we'll put them on next now. Right, so I thought I'd just show you the two plastic clips, because I think one of the best things when you're trying to remove something, if I can see how they look off the car, you can visualise how you're going to be removing them. You can see the little plastic clips there, and how the two halves clip themselves together, so that they cover up and make the make everything neat basically, so you're not seeing all the working. So we'll get them back up next. Right, so let's get the two halves of the plastic back over the interior mirror. So hopefully once you've lined it up, they should just clip back together. So I had to move the camera out the way just to see everything properly, and this mirror, as you remember, was on the bane it fitted, and it really has to be turned right in the right position so that these will line up. And now that cowling has clipped back nice and cleanly, so that's now everything back and hopefully right, and hopefully have a working rain sensor. As I say, what I'm going to do is start the engine up and put the wipers into a pulse wipe position and see if they come to a stop, and when I spray water on they work again. We'll have to see. If the car's not moving, I don't know if that has any impact in it either. It shouldn't do. I don't see why it doesn't, because even if you're sitting in traffic, you'd want the wipers to come on and sort of pulse wipe at different speeds and go off when the rain stops. So hopefully our little test will work. Right, so hopefully you can see on what I've done is put some sprayed water with a little bit of screen washing over the sensor and over the screen, so the wipers don't damage on a dry screen. We've got the bonnet shut, because if the bonnet's open the wipers will catch the bonnet, so always make sure that's closed before you put the wipers on. It's possible they won't, but to be sure I'd always have the bonnet shut when you operate the wipers, just to be sure. So we'll go in and see how they work. Right, so what we do is put it into the first position, the wiper stalk. Now, as far as I know, that the turn dial that sets your speed on standard pulse wipe now won't work. If the rain sensor is working, it will automatically go into rain sensor. That's certainly how it works on our silver car, so we're expecting the same on this car. I probably should have said we've got a cloth along the top of the dashboard. That's just so if I dropped anything or I want to put any tools down, I don't damage the top of the dashboard. So let's put this into the first position and see. Right, so the wipers have come on and they're running. So the question is, well, they work. Now that's interesting. They've run for a time and just stopped. So what I'm going to do is go outside and spray some water on and see if that reactivates them, and hopefully that will tell us that the sensor's working. Right, so let's see if they're going to work. Ah, well, that's certainly a good sign. They've cleared the screen and the wipers have stopped. Let's spray again and see if they start. And they stopped, so I'm going to suggest that rain sensor is now working, which is certainly a good sign. Alright, so we're back inside and I did a few more tests and showed everyone indoors that the sensor's working, because it is a nice thing to see, especially when there can be other faults and changing a sensor isn't always the answer. To change the sensor and find spraying a little bit of water on can bring those wipers on. It clears the screen, stops, sprays some more, and it starts. I think definitely confirms it works, and it also confirms that the rain sensor will work when the car's stationary, which to me would make sense, but I wasn't fully sure, so it also clears that up as well. Well, hopefully you found that useful and interesting. I've certainly enjoyed doing that little job. It's all back together behind the interior mirror, and it's one little thing that probably didn't get priority from when we found out it weren't working to us doing it. It's probably well over a year or so, a little bit of research finding it, but it's one little thing ticked off our list that we're certainly pleased is done, and as I say, hopefully you found it useful as well. As always, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to check out our Instagram, Twitter page, and of course look through all our other videos here on the channel with us doing little bits and pieces on our Rovers, from major jobs to little teeny videos that might be of interest or of use to you.